Please, every young lady should watch this to the end to avoid being deceived with their sweet mouth. Abroad and fake promises that end with tears. Everyone in the village called him Mr. London. When Chuka returned from the UK, the whole community welcomed him like a king. His skin glowed, his accent had changed, and his suitcase seemed to carry promises of gold. Girls lined up to greet him. Even mothers whispered his name while planning future in-laws. But no one knew the real Chuka anymore. Ada met him first at the village square during a festival. He pulled up in a shiny Toyota Camry, borrowed from a cousin in the city. His designer shirt still had the tag hidden under the collar, and the wristwatch. Fake but shiny. To Ada, he looked like a dream. He took her aside and whispered, "I've seen the world. But no girl matches your kind heart. I want to settle down, and I want you." Ada blushed. No one had ever spoken to her like that. She fell fast. 3 weeks later, Chuka was at Ngozi's house, telling her the same words. And at Amora's workplace. And at Uju's mother's funeral. Each time, he promised marriage. Each time, he borrowed someone else's car, someone else's cologne, someone else's personality. He gave fake rings, planned imaginary introductions, and disappeared after getting what he wanted. Ada became pregnant first. Then Ngozi. Then Amora. That was when the truth began to spill, when 3 angry mothers stormed his cousin's compound the same morning. The women were not strangers to one another. The scandal broke like fire in Hamatan. The village was ablaze with shame and mockery, the final blow. Chuka had never truly made it abroad. He'd been deported after a visa scam and had been hiding in Lagos for 5 years before returning to rebrand himself. Everything he claimed was a lie. Ada, now a mother of a baby boy, tells this story not with tears but with wisdom. She says, "We believed his clothes and cars, not his character. Now we know better. May no woman fall for a sweet mouth and empty promises again. I don't want a London girl. I want someone real, like you, Ada." Those words melted Ada's heart like sugar in hot tea. She remembered how Chuka first said it, sitting under the mango tree behind her father's compound. He had come with plantain chips and Hollandia yogurt, both which she never really tasted before. It felt like a dream. They talked for hours that evening. He told her stories about living in Manchester, how snow fell like powdered milk, how the buses were always on time, and how English girls didn't know how to cook real food like ofe onogbu. Ada, who had never traveled beyond Onitsha, was mesmerized. She saw in him a way out of poverty, a way to change her life. Maybe even send money home one day like he claimed his cousins did. Chuka said he wanted to do traditional marriage before returning back to the UK. "Let's not waste time. Once I go back and get things settled, I'll send for you immediately. You'll join me abroad and we'll start a new life," he promised, squeezing her hands. He gave her a ring, silver, simple, but it shone like promise. She didn't know it was from a roadside vendor. Later that week, he took her to a fancy restaurant in town. She wore the gown he bought her from Dubai, actually ABA, and he drove her there in a car he said he just imported. The waiter called him Odigo. Ada felt like a queen. They took pictures. She posted them on Facebook with the caption, "My forever." But somewhere else, in a compound not far away, another girl named Ngozi was also posting a picture with the same man. The same ring. The same promise. Ada was glowing. Her cheeks had gained fullness, her phone was filled with love messages, and her footsteps carried the pride of a woman claimed. She had told her mother, her sisters, even the women at the stream. Everyone now called her our wife to Mr. London. But little things began to shift. One afternoon, Ada went to surprise Chuka at the lodge he was staying in, a guest house on the edge of town. She had cooked ofensola, his favorite, and borrowed her sister's wrapper to look more wife material. But when she arrived, The receptionist hesitated. He just stepped out with someone else, the woman said, eyes flicking sideways. Ada waited. 2 hours passed. Then she saw them, Chuka and another girl, laughing and holding hands. The girl looked familiar. It was Ngozi, a seamstress from a nearby village. Ada had seen her once, bragging at the market about how her fiancé just returned from abroad. Ada froze. Chuka's eyes caught hers. For a second, panic flickered across his face, then he smiled and walked up to her. Ada, it's not what you think. Ngozi is just a business partner. I'm helping her get a UK visa, that's all. His voice was calm, practiced. His hand touched her shoulder. Let's not create drama here. You know you're the one I'm marrying. Ada nodded slowly. She wanted to believe him. She chose to believe him, but that night, she couldn't sleep. Something in her chest itched with doubt. The next week, her friend Ifoma came running to her house, phone in hand. Ada, you need to see this. There it was, a WhatsApp status video, Chuka, shirtless in a different room, kissing another girl. The caption read, "My Oyabo just returned." This time, it wasn't Ada. And it wasn't Ngozi. It was someone else entirely.